Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Leader of the House will be aware that the Mayor of London has announced the new task force for his Commission on Diversity in the Public Realm. And unsurprisingly, it seems to be made up almost entirely of left-wing political activists, campaigners and celebrities instead of historians and experts. So does my right honourable friend share my concern about these unelected activists being given the power to interfere with London street names and monuments? And will he consider granting a debate in government time to discuss how we can defend our great capital cities' proud history and heritage?
Mr. Speaker, I absolutely agree with my honourable friend. It seems to me that the Mayor of London has replaced Red Ken as Red Khan. That who would have thought that you would have a more left-wing leader of London than Ken Livingstone? But now we do, and Red Khan is he. It is quite wrong that these loony left-wing wheezes should be inflicted upon our great metropolis. And I think the Mayor, in his zeal, is potentially treading on the toes of councils anyway. That the councils have the right to name streets by and large, not the Mayor of London, and I don't think he should interfere in things that are not his responsibility.
That when it comes to slavery, we were the first country, not just to abolish slavery, but to use the Royal Navy over decades to stop other countries from practicing the slave trade. Of course, our history contains episodes that we may not regard as being perfect today. But our history, compared with virtually every other country, is one that we can be very rightly proud of. Now, one of those people who took the knee earlier this year was, of course, the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer. But now, in the last couple of weeks, a Labour report has realised that one of the reasons they lost all the votes in the north of England, first to UKIP, then the Brexit Party, then the Conservatives, was because people looked at the Labour Party as just not being patriotic. So the new Labour Party, they are going to embrace the flag. They're going to become a patriotic, old-style Labour Party. Well, Sir Keir, if you want that to be in any way credible, you had better rein in the Labour Mayor of London.
When they drafted that act that you referred to, I don't think probably that they expected that they would have a mayor who saw it perfectly fine to take upon himself to judge London's heritage and past. And I would ask you, on a moral level, if not a legislative one, what right do you think you have to sit with this committee in judgment on London's heritage, which has, I would add, a British significance too, being the capital? These people on your commission, they're all going to be basically mayor's mates, aren't they? They're all going to sing from the same hymn sheet, which is an ideological one. This was born, this idea, and you announced it at the very height of the BLM protest. So basically, the incentive behind this really is one of revising and removal. Millicent Fawcett in Parliament Square was a new statue. We're not really talking about that, are we? We're talking about going back through London's past. You mentioned, when you've talked about this, you said that much of London comes from a bygone era. Well, that would be history, Mr. Mayor. You do accept that a bygone era is actually history. And I repeat, nobody, no mayor, no elected official, none of us, have the right to simply start removing and revising what has been there for centuries and centuries. And you say that I would take great issue when you say this has really captured the imaginations of Londoners. It's really demoralised them. Can you not see that?
I think it's cost about £250,000. And I think bearing in mind Sadiq Khan, I think is increasing his share of local taxation by 10%. And at the same time, he's spending £250,000 on this. I mean, I think the point is just what is he looking to achieve by doing all of this? Does he think it's going to bring people closer together? Or does he actually think it's going to create more division? And does he actually think? I seriously question it. I mean, let's not forget the fact that Sadiq Khan is the most senior elected Labour politician in the country, and I think his behaviour on this gives us a little bit of an indication of what it would actually be like to be under a Labour government at the moment. Is what are people looking to achieve by all of this? What are they looking to achieve? Because what I think they're looking to achieve is to get us to a point where we feel ashamed to be British. They want to scour our history, however long ago it was, for anything we may have done which is wrong. They want to blow it up and publicise it all, and they want to find 1,000,001 reasons why we should no longer be proud to be British.
This should be the #1 priority for the Mayor of London, for the Police and Crime Commissioner. Never mind talking about the names of streets being renamed and renaming statues or taking statues down. Saving lives should be the ultimate priority. Saving lives of our youngsters, saving lives of kids in London.
And I think it is extraordinary at a time when this city is facing almost extinction level event economically, largely as well down to many of the things you've done, such as congestion charge and all of that, that actually now you start attacking its heritage. And the councils that you refer to are Labour ones, 130 of them up and down the country. We all know, do we not, Mr. Mayor, that your party doesn't really like patriotism, doesn't really like Britain very much, wouldn't you say?
That's a characterisation I don't accept.
Right, well, Mr. Mayor, all I can say is that the one consolation is that it's very unlikely that anyone's going to be putting up a statue to you.
What happens in 10 years or 20 years when the street names that we've changed today are no longer socially acceptable? We can't constantly keep readjusting our standards and changing our environment to match. Sadiq Khan's Diversity Commission is not diverse in the first place. I've looked at the people on this commission. I think there's one white face. There are a lot of brown people, all from the left wing, no right wing thinking. That's not true diversity. It's not diversity of thought and opinion. What he has there is a lot of brown people that think the same. And that is the modern definition of diversity. It's not diversity at all. It's offensive, it's patronising, and it's a stitch up, because these people are going to want to tear down these statues to make a point and show that they are virtuous. And that's not good at all for anyone.